everyone, and welcome to the Q&A session. It's great to have you all here. Please say hello and where you're streaming in from. This is something that we do now on Wednesdays at this time. So Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here and I guess, I'm answering your questions. I'm Dr. Janine. Nice to meet you. If you're here for the first time, please put a 1 in the comments and make sure that you follow so that you are always up on my latest and newest information, and you'll get notifications, of course. So turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified when I do go live. It happens on Tuesdays, of course, for the Dr. Janine Show, and now Wednesdays I'm live for the Q&A to answer questions based on yesterday's show. So if you missed questions, because I can't always get to everybody's questions during the live on Tuesdays, and that's why we do this on Wednesdays now. It gives us another opportunity to say hello, and hey, even if you don't have a question, just say hello where you're from, and thank you for tuning in. It's so great to have you all here today. We had, so many people who came into the live yesterday. It was amazing. It was like completely overwhelming, which was great. So many great questions, and of course, our show is very interactive. So the Tuesday's show, the Dr. Janine Show, if you've not yet seen it, please make sure that you're tuning in next week on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have so much fun. So I educate, we talk about different health topics every week. So Tuesdays, as you can see behind me at 11 a.m., that is the Dr. Janine Show. So make sure that you're tuning in. Now, the great thing as well is that our sponsors are very generous. So every week on Tuesdays, what's happening is we are playing for prizes. So yesterday, our sponsors, Vitatree Nutritionals, they donate a prize every single week. So yesterday's prize happened to be the magnesium. That's what we played for. All you have to do is answer the questions correctly or incorrectly. It doesn't even matter. And we will generate, and there's a natural thing that is a random selector for our winner every week, and then we always announce our winner in the next week's show, so you got to tune in. So yesterday's winner, Tony, actually tuned in yesterday, and it was Tony, I believe. Yeah, Tony Child was the winner of our Vita Detox from our great sponsors at Vitatree. So we thank Vitatree Nutritionals. Thank you so much, Whole Food Vitamins, for supporting the channel, of course, sponsoring the show and sponsoring the Q&A today as well, which is amazing. Say hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Annette, thank you for the flowers. And G-Tech, thank you for the flowers, the gifts that you're sending in already. We just went live right now a few moments ago, so you haven't missed anything. I will be answering your questions, so please make sure that you're putting them in the comment section. And of course, I am not your doctor, so just putting it out there. So sort of the rules of the road when we do the Q&As, I do not answer specific medical questions. That's not my job. I'm not your doctor, but at the same time, I will share some general information around the question that you're asking. So if you can ask the question in a more general way, that would be great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if there's a different topic that I haven't yet covered in the Dr. Janine Show, make sure that you do put it in the comments, because it's something that I endeavor to answer your questions in the shows as well. And if it's not a topic that we've covered yet, quite likely there are other people that need some help in that area. So please let us know. Put it in the comments if there's something that you really want us to focus on in our content, in the shows, even on, for my posts, my social media posts, if you're new. Thank you, Jerry. I see that you're sharing. Everybody can hit that share button just like Jerry is. Thank you so much. So supportive of the channel. Love you. And thank you for tuning in again today. Great to have you here. And someone is here. If we can just move my screen over a little bit. I can't see the names on one of these platforms, so if they can just fix that, that'd be great for me. So I can call out your names. In Winsome in Canada, Sum, thank you for tuning in. Awesome to have you here, and that's great that you're asking these fantastic questions, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, if I can see the names, that will really help me. And thank you for tuning in. And yes, okay, so Nilan Jen. So yesterday we did talk about liver and our cherry angiomas related to fatty liver. And thank you in India for tuning in, Nilanjan Moti. Yes, definitely. It's something that I've actually covered in a post, so you can actually search up now in your search bars, whichever platform that you're on. Go into the search bar and just search my name, so Dr. Janine, and search up cherry angiomas, and you're going to see my video on that, but absolutely related to liver health. And that's one of the things that we actually talked about yesterday in yesterday's show. We also talked about lipomas. So if you've got questions about lipomas, we can pull up some of the information that we talked about as well. We also talked about fatty liver. We talked about some of the best foods for the liver as well. So if you missed that list, that's something that I can review again today, and we'll go through and maybe we can guess what the #1 food is. Of course, it's not fair for the people who were here yesterday and you saw the show. But Kim, hello, nice to see you. Good morning. This is fantastic to have you all here today. Okay, so are we hearing me? Yes, we're good. All right, nice to have you here. And okay, Shamim in Calgary, Alberta, thank you for tuning in. Great to have you here. Nice to have you, Leanne in North Bay, and Daglama in Virginia. Thank you for tuning in. Great to have you all here. Messy Game in I'm not sure where you are, but thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you here. So many new people here. So make sure you hit that subscribe, that follow button. Amazing to have you here. And I also need to see my notes because everybody wants me to, yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, let's talk a little bit about low fat. Texan howdy. I'm not sure. Low fat diet's not my favorite. So yeah, so that was sort of all in vogue. I'm going to say, maybe about 30, 35 years ago. The whole low-fat craze was out there, not the healthiest thing because our brain needs fat. Our body actually needs healthy fats in order to run properly, especially our nervous system. Even our liver needs healthy fats to be able to metabolize properly. And what healthy fats do is they help to keep our nerves healthy, help to keep our eyes healthy, our brain as well. Did you know that our eyes are the only external part of our brain? Yeah, so because our eyes are so closely connected to our brain, really important that we're getting enough healthy fats. So making sure that you're not, of course, eating processed and you know, the PUFAs, so the very refined seed oils and things, not the best. So things like canola oil, not so great, but healthy olive oil is something that's definitely good for you, as well as coconut oil, another great alternative. Ghee, you know, a lot of people are familiar with ghee. If it's grass-fed, always better, you know, in terms of healthy fats, and eating avocados, another healthy way to get some healthy fats in. So that's great. And eggs as well, great healthy fats in the yolks. And thank you so much for everybody who's here today. Dada, thank you for the follow, and for all the new followers that are here, make sure you hit that subscribe, that follow, and thank you for sharing. I know Jerry shared at least 10 times. If you could all do that, that would be fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Scott, nice to see you. Thank you so much. And Jesse's here from Georgia. Hello, nice to see you here, which is so amazing. Nazreen in Trinidad, great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in today. Virginia in Florida, thank you for tuning in. And everybody, I hope that you're all saying hello. And if you've got more different questions for me. Okay, so Ashley has a question about joint pains and having different lab results. So chronic inflammation, I often tie this back to something called leptin resistance. If you've seen any of my content on leptin resistance, if you don't know what that is, make sure you check out, just search up leptin resistance in the platform that you're in. And please start looking at why it's important to fix your leptin signaling. This is all has to do with your fat. What your fat does is it sends a signal to your brain in terms of your leptin signaling, and this is going to regulate your metabolism. You can see behind me this whole thing and how this is related to, and that CRP, when the CRP goes up, that will complex your leptin, and now you've got this leptin resistance. So now your system is not reading, your brain is reading a low leptin situation, making you more hungry all the time. It increases your CRP, more inflammation is happening. So this is something that definitely we have to make sure that we are optimizing our leptin signaling. And I've got so many tips now online on my different platforms how to fix that leptin resistance. One of them is to stop snacking. Another one is to make sure you see that early morning sunlight for your leptin signaling, because that natural sunlight coming in your eyes, it has a lot to do with, and something that we talked about in yesterday's show, it has to do with your liver function as well. So fatty liver, we know, is on the rise. It's like every second person over the age of 50 is being diagnosed with a fatty liver and high liver enzymes. Well, why is that? It's because our clock mechanisms are messed up. Now we have a major master clock in the brain, in the hypothalamus of the brain. It's called the SCN, suprachiasmatic nucleus, is our master clock, as we can see behind me. And that needs to be coordinated with our organ clocks, because all of our cells in our organs have clocks as well. And this is tied into the light and dark cycle of the day. So here we can see with circadian rhythms, what signals your body is getting from your environment, from the sun. It's supposed to be from the sun, and it's supposed to be from darkness and the moon at nighttime, okay? So what happens when we've got all these artificial lights on all the time? Well, we're gonna get mixed messages. That's gonna mess up our circadian clock, the big one in the brain, and now it's gonna become discoordinated with our peripheral clocks in our organs. And this is something that is causing most of the disease and our mitochondrial health and the aging and fatty liver and metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. It all ties back to these clocks. And this is something that I'm writing about in my next book, and really, really important information. So we've got to get our clocks right. How do we do that? Well, we've got to mediate our proper signaling, our light signaling, and our dark signaling to our cells, because guess what? Every skin cell that we have has a light receptor in it. So imagine at nighttime, you've got all your lights on in your home, you're on your tech, you're on your phone, you're watching videos, you're scrolling, and your arms and your face and your thyroid and your eyes are all exposed to this artificial light when it's really dark outside. Going to mess up your metabolism, and this ages you more quickly. You're going to get more wrinkles more quickly. It will mess up your liver metabolism. You get the fatty liver, you start gaining weight, your insulin levels go up, your blood glucose levels go up, even if you didn't eat any carbs. Hey, you're doing keto and you wonder, why is my blood sugar still high? Well, it's because of the blue light, that toxic light. So this is something that I like to educate people about, because it's quite likely it's something you've never heard before, and that's why you're sick and that's why you're not feeling well. So these are the things that I like to, if you check out my content, you're going to know that I do things and I talk about things a little bit differently, and that's based on all the research that I've done over the years, of course, as a naturopathic doctor, and having a lot of success, not only for my own health, for my kids, for my husband, you know, and for the people that I'm able to help, my patients, of course, over the years. Amazing, amazing results. And often when they've seen doctors who, you know, weren't able to explain certain things, they, for whatever reason, the universe sends them to me, and I'm able to actually really, really help. So yes, amazing questions here. Okay, Lonta2178, are grounding mats good for the body? Yes, depending on, you know, the type of grounding mat and what it's plugged into. If it's actually grounded properly, then it's something that I have on my beds in my home for my kids as well. So I do like the grounding mats, and I have it on my desk. I find that it absolutely helps, but you just got to make sure that it's grounded into something that's healthy and actually properly grounded, okay? So that's really important. And okay, I'm not being able to see some of my questions on this side as well. I don't know if we can help behind the scenes there. And okay, so makeup foundation with no titanium dioxide, which one do I recommend? I don't call out brand names, but the less makeup you use, the better for your skin. And this is something that you may have to, as a lady, you may have to transition into getting used to not wearing as much makeup. On days when you absolutely don't need makeup, don't wear the makeup. You want, again, remember your skin cells have that proper signaling, that light signal from the outside, from hopefully natural sunlight. So being outdoors more often for your skin is so important. So decreasing any, you know, anything between your skin and the sun, you want to decrease that. So that means makeup, that means, of course, sunscreen, that means things, it goes against everything that you've heard to slap on the sunscreen all the time. Maybe not the best thing in terms of your overall health, okay? What time should we turn off the lights? Okay, that is a very good question. 4151 OMDE, love this question. Turn off the lights, just follow the sun. So if the sun is down, it's dark outside, turn off the lights. Makes sense, doesn't it? And if you absolutely have to have lights on in your home, it's natural light is the best. And I know that's not feasible for a lot of people, so candlelight and putting on the fireplace. But having more red lights in the home a little bit better, because it has less of the blue. The blue is very stimulating and stimulates our cortisol, the stress response, and that can lead to the weight gain and inflammation in the body. We want to lower our cortisol, and blue light suppresses our melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. So whatever you can do to have lights closer to the ground, not from above, because like here in the studio, I've got lights above. That's telling me that the sun is out and bright right now. Well, it happens to be here where, you know, the time of day where I am right now. So yeah, not the worst thing, but as the day goes on and as the sun is going down, we want to minimize that overhead light. So yeah, turn off the lights, just look at the sun outside. And and mimic what's happening with the sun. That's when the lights should be going down and out. Once the sun has set, and you know that it's really set and it's gone into darkness, then you really shouldn't have a lot of lights on in the home. And always wear your blue light blocking glasses if you do have lights on, especially after the sun has set. Subha has a great question. Foods can vegetarians eat for vitamin B12 deficiency? It's very difficult to get enough vitamin B12 from a vegetarian diet. Now, if you still have seafood, so fish, then you're going to get some there. Some people, vegetarians, need to supplement with a natural vegetarian formula of a B12 in a whole food complex. That's something that my team behind the scenes can answer that question specifically about where you can look for that, because that is something, I'm not a vegetarian, but I do take that B12 supplement myself, which is amazing, has, you know, fantastic absorption, and it's naturally complex with chlorella, which is really important for your B12 levels, because that's the thing about chlorella being a blue-green algae. It has all of those accessory nutrients to help with that actual absorption of your B12, like the other B vitamins, manganese, and it's got the chlorophyll as well, a little bit of protein in the chlorella, which is amazing, so it really helps with that B12 absorption. Okay, questions about intermittent fasting. Okay, so this is something that we covered a few weeks ago, intermittent fasting and some of the things that you have to be aware of. So doing it the wrong way can actually make you gain weight, make you more tired, mess up your circadian rhythms that I was just talking about, mess up your leptin signaling, make your liver unhealthy if you do fasting and intermittent fasting wrong. So ideally, what most people do is they fast their breakfast. I used to do this myself. I was screwing up my leptin signaling and my hormones and my thyroid, because doing it in the wrong way and not having that healthy breakfast sort of tells your clocks that the day has not begun. I mean, typically in, you know, more ancient times, we would usually wake up hungry, eat something, and then have the energy from our food to go throughout our day as hunters and gatherers. Now, if you're not having that healthy breakfast in the morning, then all of your enzymes in terms of your digestion and your microbiome, which actually gives off light, is not able to do what it needs to do. And this is something that's going to mess up your hormones, you know, and the downstream hormones. So this is something why with intermittent fasting, what you want to do, if you choose to do that, to lose weight, to feel better, to, you know, go into autophagy, which is our body's cleanup mechanism and helps with longevity. That's what the research shows. What you want to do is skip your dinner. You don't want to skip your breakfast. So maybe have your last meal. You know, in the end, when I do intermittent fasting, usually my last meal is around 2 p.m. or so, and then I don't eat until my next breakfast, but I make sure that I have my breakfast every single day, which is super, super important, okay? Now, here's some of the other things, and I lost my signal here, guys, so if we can check that out here, that'd be great. Okay, got you. So here's some of the things that we talked about yesterday as well, things to look for in our toxic vitamins. So if you missed this, I know that this is a big question that comes up. So let's go through the list really quickly. Magnesium, and you can see the toxic list of vitamin ingredients that are in most vitamins. These are the ones to avoid. So if you're new to my channel, you haven't heard me talk about vitamins before, is it Sarahan in Australia? Nice to have you here. Hello, good day. Did I say that right? Oh, nice to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so magnesium stearate, one of the things to avoid. It's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption. Microcrystalline cellulose is another one. This is a filler. It's made from wood chips. Can be very, very hard on the digestive tract because it's a form of fiber that now your gut bacteria has to deal with, and you know, not something that I recommend. And this is why do they use the cellulose? Well, it's to fill up the capsule, to make it look like you're getting, you know, a great value for so many capsules per bottle, and it's very inexpensive when you're buying vitamins or supplements or herbal medicines. They use this just to fill up the capsules. So again, I don't like that. I think it's you know, they're playing tricks and games in terms of your budget, and your body has to detoxify and then deal with and metabolize some of these fillers. Another one, silicon dioxide, titanium dioxide. Again, not my favorite. These have been banned in some countries, like the titanium dioxide. I know a question was coming in earlier. This was banned earlier, and this is something that we definitely want to make sure that we are minimizing and making sure that we're checking for this, whether it is in your skincare, whether it is in, you know, your vitamins. You don't want to be ingesting these, as well as your cyanocobalamin This is something that we definitely don't want to be ingesting, this toxic form of vitamin B12, ascorbic acid as well, which is vitamin C, which is toxic. Don't like that one. And you know, this is the list. So you can screenshot that really quickly if you have the ability to do that. Nice to see you. Thank you, everybody who is here today. It's great to have you here. And I know we've got, oh, hello, hello, and I've got lots of feedback happening here. Hello, I don't know what just happened. I can hear myself. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Lots of fun stuff happening today. Okay. Yes, the question is, came in. What what? Okay, so yeah, so a question coming in about lipomas. So this is something that we talked about yesterday in the show, and I've got my tips for lipomas. What can we do about them? What are the causes? Let's go through some of the causes really quickly for the lipomas, which is something that we talked about. And one of the things, and maybe we can bring up that list. I don't know if there we go. So what a lipoma is, it's an encapsulated little bit of fat. And some of the causes include, let's go through the list. It's coming from that, yeah. There we go. So it is the being overweight, so obesity, alcoholism. So if you like to have a little bit too much in terms of alcohol, that can be a cause for the lipomas, the fatty deposits beneath the skin surface, as well as liver disease, glucose intolerance, which links back, of course, to the leptin resistance and the insulin resistance, and trauma. So if you've, whacked yourself, somehow you got, an injury, that could later on form a lipoma. So from trauma. But let's look at the tips really quickly, and this is what we covered in the show yesterday, is something that we can do naturally, and I actually have a hack for it, and I actually have the ingredients here, that's something that you can do topically. But regulating your blood sugar is going to be really important, and fixing that leptin resistance, because usually the leptin resistance happens first before the insulin resistance. Doing that full body detox, it's springtime. This is what we're going to be talking about next week, in next week's show on Tuesday, the Dr. Janine Show. Make sure you tune in at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about full body detox, spring detox, and how we do that. And doing a mixture. So topically, you can use some castor oil and frankincense essential oil. We know that castor oil penetrates very deeply and will get right into that lipoma, start to break things up with and complexing it with the frankincense essential oil. So basically what you're going to do, just pour a little bit of castor oil into your hand, and then 2 to 3 or more drops, up to 5, depending on how big an area that lipoma. If it's very big, you're going to need a little bit more, and you just mix that in your hand, and then if let's say my lipoma was here, you just rub it in. And I like to do the castor oil at bedtime. It can stain your sheets, so just be aware of that. Maybe not. Maybe put a blanket or a towel down that you're lying on if it's in an area, or use older sheets, or just give some time for it to penetrate into the skin, and then go to bed. You could wear an old cotton t-shirt on top of wherever you're rubbing it into, and go to sleep. Amazing, amazing. The frankincense is known to actually break up any type of cyst and other types of tumors and lipomas as well. So using that topically every night at bedtime, that combination really, really amazing. Ingesting your apple cider vinegar, so that acetic acid helps to balance, of course, our blood glucose levels. I've got some posts on that. I'm not sure if they were posted on all the social media channels yet, but stay tuned for that if it's not yet out. Omega-3s as well. We know our omega-3 is really important in fixing our circadian rhythms are important. Okay, is B12 deficiency and fatty liver related? Yes, it can be, absolutely. So making sure that you're getting enough vitamin B12. B12 helps with the metabolism of our carbs, our fats, and our proteins. So this is where it's linked back potentially to that fatty liver. B12 also helps to stabilize blood glucose levels, helps with insulin secretion from the pancreas. You've got to optimize your B12. And it helps with our nervous system and helps with vision as well. So optimizing your B12 is really important. The other one is the frankincense essential oil. You can see it on behind me, so on the slide. So frankincense for the lipomas, essential oil, and it breaks down growths and things, which is amazing. Okay, nice to see you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that share button and make sure that you tune in on Tuesday. Now, remember, on Tuesdays, we have a lot of fun. If you've never been to the Dr. Janine Show, please come in next Tuesday, and you'll, hopefully be notified. Yeah, of course, I know that you're following me. Thanks for sharing today's live as well. Rose Lee and Africa, Asia, Euro, thank you for sharing. Yvette Baby, thank you for the follow today, and great to have you all here. Okay, so we have a lot of fun. So our sponsors at VitaTree, during the live show on Tuesdays, we are always playing for prizes. So this week's prize that we played for with the quiz questions was the VitaTree Magnesium. That's what we played for. We will be announcing the winner next week on Tuesday, so make sure you're tuning in. But yesterday's winner from the previous week's show was Tony Childs, so congratulations, Tony. I don't know if you're yet here. I haven't yet seen your name. I think you may be, though. Thank you for tuning in and, of course, playing the quiz questions. And guess what? You don't even need to answer correctly. My followers are very, very smart, though, and I know that you pay attention to the shows because the live shows are fantastic. I'm educating you, and, of course, then when I ask the quiz questions, you guys are the best. You always do so well, and I'm never really surprised. I just know that everybody is so smart. But it's a lot of fun, and we thank our sponsors at VitaTree for, always helping to support the show and sponsoring the show and donating and being so generous. Every week we have a different prize that will go out to our lucky winner every week. So it's great to have you here. Africa, Asia, thanks for all the love. It's so great to have you here. Thanks for all the new followers that are streaming in today. And of course, we do this on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when I get to answer your questions, okay? So I know you've had so many great questions that are streaming in. Have I missed anything? I know I keep talking and talking and talking. I'll take a sip of water. I hope everybody's having a great day and it's nice and sunny where you are, everyone. I had a great photo shoot this morning, which was fun. And I won't spill the beans, but I got to have some fun with some little mammals. Let's just put it that way. I had so much fun, which was amazing. So those I will reveal once the time is right. Some little projects that we're working on, I will reveal when the time is right, but it was fun. It was fun. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Yes? Oh, floaters in the eyes. So this is a great question. This is something that we talked about a couple weeks ago with eye health, or was it last week? We talked about vision and eye health and using castor oil actually topically. So you can use a good quality castor oil at bedtime, rub it right on your eyelids. Can be really helpful for floaters in terms of supplementation and your diet. I have talked about the best foods for your eyes. I don't know if my team can find that list. And maybe we'll go through the liver list of foods as well, best foods for your liver. But let's look at the eye foods first. I don't know if we can pull it up. That would be great. But yeah, so lutein and zeaxanthin, these are the very important carotenoids. There's like 600 different carotenoids which are antioxidants found in food that are out there in nature. Only 2 of them concentrate at the back of the eye, and they are the lutein and the zeaxanthin. And there are certain supplements that you can take. It's something that I take every day for my vision and eye health, but also making sure that you're eating these foods is really important. And there's a list of 10 that we shared last week in the Dr. Janine Show of the 10 best foods for your eyes. I'll let everybody put in there, if you're here and new and you don't know what the number 1 food is, just put it in the comment section. Try to guess what it is, what the number 1 food for your eyes is. And I know what a lot of people are going to say, but it's actually lower on the list. But let's see. Okay, everybody put it in the comments right now. Let's see. What are you guessing? Ramila, thank you for sharing today's live. Janet, thank you for sharing as well. I know so many people are hitting that share button. Thank you. So please hit that share button. Thanks for all the love coming through. Okay, there we go. There's the list. If you said dark leafy greens, number 1. I knew that's what I was looking for. Stacy was, of course, the carrots, and is it Ianta or Lanta? Carrots, I know. Fadzila, yes. Pahlavi, yes. I know a lot of people always guess the carrots, but actually for lutein and zeaxanthin, now carrots do have a lot of beta carotene, so yeah, it may be higher in the list in terms of beta carotene, but number 1 is the green leafies. If you look at the amount, the 20,534 micrograms per cup of cooked spinach gives you that whopping amount of the lutein and zeaxanthin, which of course for eye health is really, really important. And so that's the list. If you want to screenshot that really quickly, I don't know if you can see it. You can also check out last week's show. It's on our long form media platform. You can check that out. And it is amazing to eat more spinach and some of the other fruits and vegetables here. Well, these are all veggies, right? And nuts. So yes. So is pumpkin's a veggie, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Root vegetable? I don't know. Yeah, can we look that up? I'm pretty sure pumpkin is a vegetable. Squash, yeah, it's in the squash family, yeah. Root vegetables, but amazing, amazing for your eye health. Now, we did talk yesterday about liver health and the 10 best foods for your liver. Let's pull up that list as well. If you missed it, we went through that list, which is amazing. So eating our nutrition is supposed to be our medicine, right? As well as our environmental exposure to the light and dark cycle of the day, our grounding, magnetism, all part of what I say is Mother Nature's prescription. Really important that we're doing the right things every day, especially if you're not feeling well and you've got, compromised health or liver health. These are the things that you can do. Okay, here we go. Look at what's number one again, green leafy veggies for your liver health. So are we seeing a pattern here maybe as to some of the best things in terms of our overall health, for eye health, for liver health, green leafy veggies. We also see the turmeric and curcumin. And this is an important one because actually eating turmeric can be a problem for some people, and you've got to watch turmeric because it tends to trap heavy metals and things like lead. You can look this up online. There's some toxicity issues with turmeric unless you're growing it yourself, and when it's coming from different parts of the world, that it can be high in lead and heavy metal toxicity. So this is why I like to actually take a concentrated curcumin and a turmeric in a supplement together. And in those capsules, again, a whole food complex, which is amazing, which gives you that high level of those curcuminoids, which is that active component of the turmeric. Great anti-inflammatory, great for brain health, great for your skin. If it's very anti-aging, protects your cells. Really, really important, which is great. So thank you so much. Is it Lanta or Ianta? I'm not sure. But thank you so much. I'm glad that you're loving the show. Please make sure that you're tuning in on Tuesday for the full show, the Dr. Janine Show. On Wednesdays in the Q&A, where you are right now, this is when I answer your questions from the previous day's show or other questions that may come up as well, which is amazing. Okay, Uncle Louie is asking, what is good to increase your energy? So making sure, of course, that you are getting enough good whole food nutrition every single day, making sure that you're taking care of your organ system. Spring detox is something we're going to talk about next week. I'm big on detox for increasing your energy levels, getting enough natural sunlight exposure, and of course, getting enough DHA. So coming back to the floaters question, if you're still here, back for the eyes, getting enough DHA. So eating enough seafood to get enough of those omega-3s. DHA is really important for your energy and your cellular metabolism as well. And this is so important. Okay, so thank you for everybody who's tuning in. Is there, yes, Fernanda Medina, is there a relationship between leptin resistance and high cortisol? Yes, 100%, 100%. And we talked about this, I'm going to say 2 or 3 weeks ago when we talked about pregnenolone steal, high cortisol levels, and how that's related back to the calcitonin and that pregnenolone steal. So if you look up pregnenolone steal in my videos and high cortisol and the adrenal function and leptin in the platform that you're on, you're going to find some of my videos. Go to the long form channel as well and just start to put in my name and search leptin resistance. You're going to find the one on pregnenolone steal. That probably video of mine actually explains it the best, why high cortisol. And it's something, I don't know, do I have a few minutes to review it on? I feel like I really need to talk about this. Can we pull up the pregnenolone steal? Okay, pumpkin is a fruit. Who knew? Okay. Yes, pumpkin is a fruit. Well, thank you so much. I don't know who filled us in on. All right. Okay, so pumpkin is a fruit. Well, my bad. See, I learned from you as well, which is amazing. That's why I love doing the Q&As. It has a seed-bearing structure, and that's why pumpkin is a fruit, a product of a seed-bearing structure. Okay. Jessica, yes, because they have the seeds inside. Oh, there we go. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for educating me. I learned something. Hey, Leaf for Free is here. This is a good question. Leaf for Free, what would be my one favorite supplement that I value above all others? Oh my goodness. Top of mind. Oh, this one's really tough. I have to go with DHA, fish oil. I don't know. That with the eye and vision, that combination for me is just so That's the one that I eat the most. I'm hearing from my producer Melinda in my ear. Yeah, that's the one I don't miss. I don't screw up with my fish oil and my DHA and the fish oil and my Iron Vision supporting supplement. That for me super important. Now that's for where I'm at in my stage right now. I mean, there's other herbal medicines for balancing hormones and things that I also do absolutely daily. I can't live without. But yeah, protein as well. And protein for women, especially with sarcopenia as we're aging, making sure that we're getting enough protein is important. That is longevity, so maintaining muscle mass and strength, especially as we age. Truth futurist, yes. Really important to keep up that muscle strength for women especially, but for the guys as well, because that sarcopenia, which is the lack of your muscle density as you're aging, it's a real thing. After the age of 40, I think we're losing 1 or 2% every year. So that's what the research shows. So yeah, Blacka, thank you or Blaka, thank you for the follow. Great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Do we have the pregnenolone steel? Let's talk about the high cortisol and leptin resistance. Okay, do we have it? The animated one or no? Maybe not. Okay, we're still looking for it. Yes. Okay, here we go. Can I go over here? Can I go over here, Ali? Yes? Okay, I'm going to go over here real quick. All right, so here we go. What happens with our proper breakdown of cholesterol goes into pregnenolone. Now what happens when we've got leptin resistance is that we've got this preferential making of more cortisol. So your cortisol goes up when you've got that leptin resistance. So high leptin in the blood, however your brain is resistant to those high leptin levels. So what's happening is there's a resistance, it's pumping out more of this cascade and we're getting more preferentially of that high cortisol because pregnenolone is going in this direction with that leptin resistance, and that, there we go, okay? So now what happens when we're getting this high cortisol with this pregnenolone steel, now the downstream effects, we're gonna get a lower DHEA, lower testosterone, lower estrogen, and then our T4 to T3, so our thyroid function is actually messed up because of that high cortisol. It's gonna shut down and we're gonna have a messing up of our thyroid hormone. For a lot of people, the thyroid hormone goes down and you could get the autoimmunity for the thyroid. It can also, for some people, go the opposite direction and you get hyperthyroidism. So that's really important. Great question that came up about the whole combination of what's going on with the leptin resistance and your high cortisol level. So that's really important. Imad Wani, okay, headache questions. We talked about headaches yesterday. So let's go through some of the points really quickly that you can do for headaches. And we talked about using peppermint essential oil. You can use it on the acupuncture points, but you can also do a spot treatment for your head. So putting a couple drops, I'm going to do it right now. I do not have a headache, but just to show you. Here's the tips for headaches. Right behind me, if you want to screenshot that really quickly, getting grounded, really important. Actually lying on the ground when you've got a headache. So if you go to a grassy area or wherever you know that you're going to be grounded, on the sand, on the beach, and actually lie down right on the earth, that can really help with bringing up those electrons from the earth, if you heard of grounding before, into it, and are very anti-inflammatory, right into your head, helps to balance what's happening with that inflammation in the head or the blood flow or whatever, if it's a migraine or tension headache for whatever reason. Remove the EMFs in your environment. More natural sunlight exposure, making sure you're getting enough magnesium, doing that full body detox. So tune in next week, we're talking about spring detox. Lymph drainage and massage, really important as well. Your posture, so making sure that your head is actually stacked on top of the rest of your spine, because what do we do on our cell phones and our technology? We're like this all the time. That's really bad for causing headaches. And of course, stretching. So we did some stretching in the show yesterday, which you can check out. And who is giving you a headache? So that's a big question to ask yourself. Who is giving you the headache? Now, okay, my hack really quickly for doing some acupressure is to put a little bit of peppermint essential oil, and you're going to sort of poke around on your head. If you look at my guy here, which my acupuncture man, you can see that there's all these different acupuncture points right on the head, and often where there's stuck energy, stuck chi, you're going to find that, oh, that spot feels a little bit tender. And don't get this in your eyes, so that's why you want to keep it away from your eyes. Just put a little bit of peppermint oil right on those spots that feel a little bit tender. Great for that relief. Now, the other thing you can do is a couple acupuncture points. One of them is right here, large intestine 4. So when you hold your thumb and your first finger together, and where that crease ends up, So when it's together, where that point is, where that your skin fold ends, that's large intestine 4. And you're going to massage that with little circular motions and directing the intention of that energy across your hand, okay? And that helps, and you're gonna feel it, there's like a dull ache that you're gonna feel when you're right on that spot. That is the master point in traditional Chinese medicine, the master acupuncture point for your head and neck. So hey, you've got sinusitis, you have an earache, you've got swollen glands, you've got a toothache, you're gonna massage, and of course a headache, you're gonna massage this point, helps to relieve that stuck chi in your head, okay? So that is the master point for the head. Now the other one is on your foot. So if you look at your foot between your first and second toe, you kind of sweep your finger up when it won't go any further up because the tendons are there. That's the point. That's called liver 3, related back to your liver. And you can do, again, little circle motions there that can help because your liver health can be related back to your headaches and having liver toxicity. And that's why I talk about doing that full body detox to get rid of those toxins in the liver, the lungs, the large intestines. Hey, I'm starting my full body detox next week because spring has sprung. Next week spring is springing next week. Is that correct for the future? Anyways, it will spring next week. It will be spring, is what I'm trying to say. And we will be starting our full body detox. So that's something that please join me next week for the Dr. Janine Show on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking all about spring detox and what we can do naturally to help to cleanse some of these toxins out of our system. But also join me for the day after show, the Q&A, and I'll be answering your questions based on the previous day's show. Amazing, amazing. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Yes, I am in Canada. Great to have you all here. It was fantastic to chat with you today. Please tune in next week. Continue to check out all of my content. Make sure that you're following and that you have shared today's live as well, which is amazing. I appreciate all of you. You guys are the best. Don't forget that we will have prizes happening from our great sponsor at Vitatree happening next week during the show. So make sure you're tuning in and answer some of those quiz questions so that you might be able to win a prize as well from our great sponsors at Vitatree. We thank them for supporting the Q&A show as well. So great to have you all here today. Love you all. Have a great couple of days, weeks. Have a great weekend as well. And make sure you continue to look at my content and comment on all of my videos. I'd love to hear your feedback. Okay, we'll see you then. Bye.